Hey there, Rima from Eureka Fabrics here with another quick tutorial. Today we're going to do a napkin. This is my favorite way to do it. It's two-sided, so you can have two fabrics that look great together. It makes your napkins look great on the table. If you fold them, you see both sides. These are also make great gifts. People love to get napkins. They're pretty. They're like not a thing you spend on for yourself, but when you get them as a gift, they're lovely. So let's dive in. This is super easy to do, even for beginners. So you're going to start by cutting your pieces. I like to do my napkins. I cut them at 18 inches square. Some people do 15 or even 13. Those are a little small for me. And also at 18 inches, you basically get 4 napkins out of a yard. So, but because you need 2 of these, you'll get 4 napkins out of 2 yards of fabric. These are just good quality quilting cottons. So let's go. So this is the right side of the fabric. So we're going to go right sides together, and you're going to sew all the way around the napkin, but you're going to leave an opening in one of the sides. And what I usually do to just sort of remind myself to stop is I put 2 pins at my stopping point. It just helps me remember to stop. Oh, also, let me point out that I'm doing a miniature version so you can just see it better. So if I do the full size, it's a little hard to see on camera. So here I've got my all 4 sides pinned. If you feel like, oh, maybe, these edges are not exactly the same, doesn't matter. The most important thing is that it lays absolutely flat, because that little bit of difference right there, that's all going to be hidden in the seam allowance. So what I'm going to do, or my double pins right there, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to sew to the corner, then put my needle down, lift my presser foot, and just pivot so that I can continue sewing this way. Put my needle down, lift my presser foot, pivot, put my press foot down, sew and pivot, and then when I get to here, I'm going to stop so that this will be left open so we can turn our napkin right side out. I'm going to go ahead and sew this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've sewn from here all the way around the outside of my napkin, leaving that space open. And I should mention that it doesn't really matter what your seam allowance is, but I actually like to do a 1/2 inch because when that seam allowance is inside the napkin, it actually gives the edges of the napkin a little structure, especially if you're doing like fancy folding. It's kind of nice. Now, before we turn, we're going to cut off our corners here so that our corners turn nicely. And I'm cutting like right up to where the stitching is, but not through it. Now we can turn this right side out and make sure our corners get poked out. And this is a really good time to press it. You want to make sure that it's pressed absolutely flat and that your seams are right on the edge of the napkin, because we're going to go ahead and top stitch it now. We want to make sure that everything is in place. So I'm going to press it so that that seam is like right exactly on the edge. I've pressed my napkin, and you can see that the seam allowances on my little opening there are pressed just so that it's one continuous, nice, even line on that side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch all the way around this. We're going to go, I usually like to start in the middle because it's better to pivot in your corners. Your stitching will look nicer. So I'm going to start here and go here and pivot and all the way around, this time leaving no spaces, all the way around, and then just do a nice little double tack when you get back to the beginning, and then your napkin is done. How easy is that? I'm going to go do the stitching, and then I'll be right back. There it is. Your napkin is done. Looks beautiful on both sides. I love to use these not just as napkins, or as gifts, but as gift wrap. You can take whatever little thing you're giving your Secret Santa and fold it up, tie a nice little bow right there, and it's not only gift wrap, it's a gift all in itself. You can make a pair of 2 or 4. Anybody would be absolutely thrilled to get these. You can see they're so easy and fun to make. I hope you had fun sewing with me today, and we'll see you again soon.